Hello everybody, welcome to Crafty Soup. My name is Misty. Today I have for you a layout process video based on a Counterfeit Kit challenge to scrapbook our team host for this month over at the Counterfeit Kit challenge. Before I get started, my daughter painted my fingernails for Mother's Day and I love that. So if you're a regular viewer, you'll notice the difference here. So I have these photos that I'm going to use, and I'm going to scraplift Kate's layout there, and she just has two 4x6 photos in a photo block. So I've got four 3x4 photos that I'm going to create basically the same size photo block. And I am pulling out some similar elements to what she has going on. I am going to create some stripes down there at the bottom with pom-poms and pattern paper and a few other bits and pieces like she did. I am going to use flowers like she did, and I'm going to create, she has kind of three areas of embellishments around her photo cluster in different materials. I'm pretty much going to repeat the flowers around my layout. So first up here, I am matting those photos into one solid photo block, and my paper was crooked, so you can see me trying to just kind of use my trimmer as a guide to help straighten everything out. And once I have those matted on a little bit of a colorful paper to add a pop of color to this layout, I am going to outline all of those photos with a permanent marker so that they pop a little bit more. And even though it's a solid photo block, you can still distinguish each individual photo. It's a technique I use all the time. I like to use it because it adds a layer without physically adding a layer. So that's one of the reasons why I do that. So here I am taking these pieces that I'm going to use as the strip on this layout, and that pom-pom I threw in my kit. It's been in my stash for a very long time, and I wasn't sure what I would ever use it for, but today's the day. I'm going to put it to use, and it's going on this layout. And that's the pom-poms are one of those things that I like and yet I don't like. Do you ever have supplies in your stash that kind of make you feel that way? So I think working these in so that they're tone on tone and a little bit tucked behind the photo helps take down some of the overwhelmingness that I get from them. So I think they're going to work here for me. Now, I had stuck everything down, and then I realized I wanted to counterbalance that film strip that's going to be part of my title there. It says Smile, with another style of film strip up in the top corner that's going to help build my visual triangle and embellishment clusters. So I did have to shift everything down there a little bit. And so I'm continuing with these strips going across my layout, and I really wish I'm adding a piece of pattern paper strip here. And because that one is a white tone right next to the ribbon ruler one that's a white tone, I really wish I had put that pattern paper strip above my black smile piece there and below those pom-poms to kind of balance it out a little bit better. But that's the thing. Sometimes you are just working and you don't realize until later that things could have been a little bit better. So note to self, maybe next time, slow down a little bit and pay a little bit more attention. So I have moved on to my flowers. In my counterfeit kit, I had a package of papery layered flowers that you can build up. And I am building a couple of those. And I also have these pre-made, or not pre-made, but these homemade flowers that I did as a tutorial over for the Counterfeit Kit Challenge for International Scrapbooking Weekend. And if you want to see more of that, I will link you up to that as well. But basically, I just use a circle punch and then shape the flower petals a little bit and then throw in various bits and pieces to the centers, glitter glue, enamel dots, Nuvo drops, things like that, to create more depth and dimension to little homemade flowers. Now, I pulled out my button bins, which were supposed to be in my counterfeit kit this month, but I had forgotten to pop them in there, so I did have to go grab those. And I actually have some buttons in there that are flower shapes, so I am using those both in navies as their own flowers, and then in yellows as the flower centers to those white flowers. So I thought that was a really fun addition to this layout, and I was happy to get those used up. They've been in my stash for many years, and I've used them here and there, but apparently I have a lot of those, so here we go, getting it used up. So I am building up those embellishment clusters, and there at the top right corner, I've got two flowers for a medium-sized cluster, and then I realized my other two areas had a bright pop of yellow. So I wanted to make sure I got more bright pop of yellow up in that upper cluster. So I pulled out a journaling tag that's going to have the date for my layout. I did make a little smudgy mistake when I was stamping, so I cleaned that up with a white gel pen. Luckily, my stamping was on white, so it's easy to clean up that way. But if you ever make a mistake like that, use a similar colored marker to the mistake and color over it, and then hopefully that can hide the mistake enough. So I am finishing up my title with these letter stickers, and the title is going to say Vacay Smiles for our vacation trip. And I did have to add an S to the end of that film strip because it just said smile before. Now I had these butterflies in my kit that are also homemade that I intended to use on this layout, but because the flowers are so chunky, I decided they were a little too overwhelming. And then I was fussing around a little bit with that journal tag and what to do with it, and I decided just to highlight a little smidgen of the doily inside of the hole in that tag. And that finishes off my layout, just a few small details here and there to add a little bit of fun to this project. I hope you decide to play along with us and go ahead and do your own version of Scraplifting Kate's layout. And if you do, either share it with us on Instagram, be sure to tag us at Counterfeit Kit Challenge, or leave a photo in our Facebook group. And if you appreciated this video, I would love it if you could give it a thumbs up because that does help my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you very soon.